What's up, YouTube? Red Zone 101 here. As always, God bless and peace. Hey guys, got a video that I've been wanting to do for a while now. Um, it's a video, excuse me, a video showing just some of the firearms that I have for self-defense and that I would consider a good choice for self-defense, and also some non-lethal. Let's try this, not non-lethal, less lethal options for self-defense. Now, some of these are going to be different items you've seen before, like on some of my videos, but I just wanted to put this all together. Okay, so this video may take a minute or two. Might have to pause the video, take a potty break, coffee break, whatever you got to do. But stay tuned. I think this video would be very beneficial to a lot of you out there who might be looking at a good self-defense system. And see, at one time, my self-defense system basically consists of firearms. That was just, the firearm was my choice for self-defense. It still is my main choice, but I've realized over the years that not every self-defense encounter requires a lethal response. And that's why I want to show you again some of my less lethal options for self-defense. So without further ado, let's go into some of the firearms, okay? Sit down here, get comfortable. Now, let's talk about for home defense, okay? Now, some people like ARs, okay? Nothing wrong with that. I think the 223, the 5.56 is a great option for self-defense. But I had an AR, it was okay, but I let it go for personal reasons, okay? And I chose to go with PC carbines, pistol caliber carbines. And I want to show you just one of them here, okay? The reason why I decided to go with a pistol caliber carbine is that I wanted to, I wanted something that wasn't going to have too much penetration. Now, granted, anytime you are shooting in a self-defensive situation, you should always be aware of what's behind your target. That's whether you're out or whether you're in. But we're talking self-defense, home defense, okay? So I chose to go with a 9mm PC carbine. And the one that I have here, now I've got it set up for home defense. I'm going to drop the mag, pull the charging handle back, eject the round, okay? Now this right here is a Cal-Tech Sub 2000. Now mine might look a little different from the ones you've seen. Again, I have mine set up for home defense. This is a great carbine. A lot of people like them for backpacking guns, bug out gun, camp gun. The reason being, now I've got a scope here, red dot on mine. And again, mine is unloaded. I just unloaded it. But normally you can pull this right here. Well, you do. One, tilt it up. If you pull right here, the trigger guard, it folds. And if I didn't have my red dot there, this would fold completely. And it's a very small package to carry. Okay? Again, since I don't carry it and have no intention to, but it's nice to have the option there, mine is set up for home defense. I like PC carbines for this reason. Most of my handguns are chambered for 9mm. Okay? So this right here is chambered for 9mm. It takes Glock mags. Okay? So if I had a Glock, I would be able to use a handgun and the ammo. Well, I would be able, to use the magazine and the ammo in the same guns, handgun and rifle. Now, as I said, I've got a red dot on here. I've got a bipod that I put on here for, when I want to go to the range and do some target shooting. And this is very, very accurate. I'm very, very, very surprised. I did that to make it a little more comfortable because it's blowback and a 9mm blowback. It's got a very strong spring here. You do feel it. I put a recoil pad on here and I put a buffer on the inside where the spring comes back and hits the back here. I put a buffer there, little plastic piece. I also put a muzzle brake. And with the extra weight of the bipod and this hand grip here, this forward grip, which is really nice because I can use this to hold another magazine. Okay, but with all that, oh, and I got a laser here, blue laser. Okay, I like the blue. It shows up really well. I mean, the green is nice, the red is nice, but I gotta be different. Anyway, the way this is set up, very light recoiling, very dependable gun. And again, 9 mil. So if I did have to use it, it's not really, I mean, it's a really nice size gun here. And 9 mil coming out of a 16-inch barrel is going to have a little more oomph than if it's coming out of a 4 or 5-inch handgun. So again, I bought this because I can save money on ammo. I can use the same ammo as my handguns. I couldn't do that with my 223 AR. So there it is. Set up for home defense, not carry, but it's nice to know that I have the option here. And so let's put that down, and we're just going to go on from there. Now, another option is a shotgun. A lot of people like shotguns because the firepower, you've got, you can use different loads in it, and they just work. A shotgun is really intimidating. Now, let me show you my choice. Now, there are different types of shotguns. There's semi-auto that are mag-fed, or whether it's a tube mag or whether it's just a mag you put in there. There's, let me see, there's pump action. There's actually single shot with shotguns, which aren't bad either. You know, you just have to practice and make sure that you have good cover, so if you had to reload, you got time. But anyway, my choice, most people like a 12 gauge. I'm going to unload here. As you're going to notice, all of these are loaded, okay? This takes a 410 shot shell. Now, this is 410. I think this is the PDX-1. I think it's got 3 discs in it, and the rest are BBs or what have you. Great option. The reason I like a 410 and why I like a double barrel is because the 410 has almost no recoil. In a gun like this, you really don't feel it. I mean, you really soft shooting. A 12 gauge has a lot more recoil. Nothing wrong with the 12 gauge. This is my choice. I can get accurate shots real quick with this. Again, unload it. And if I need more than 2 rounds, now some people will say it's a double barrel shotgun. It's only got 2 rounds. My answer to that, people have been using double barrel shotguns for a long time for home and self-defense. And as long as you practice, I mean, I think they're a great option. And they're really not that, if you look at some of the cowboy shoots and how they practice with them, and actually they can load these things so quick, it's ridiculous. I'm not that quick, but let's be honest. After the first shot, who's really going to want to stick around for the second shot when it comes to a good shotgun? Okay, and there's an intimidation factor there. I mean, really. And in a self-defensive situation, nobody wants to shoot anybody. Worst case, I mean, best case scenario, if someone was to break into your home and they saw you pointing this at them, most criminals want to go home just like we do at the end of a workday, okay? They want to go home. They want a soft target. They don't really want to fight. You see that pointed at you, guess what? You know what? I'm sorry. I thought this was my house. I'm leaving. And they're out, okay? And if they're not, that PDX-1 will do a number on you. Hopefully, never have to test that theory. Okay, we're going to put that aside. So again, a shotgun is a great option, but this is my choice. I like that right there. And that is very accurate. The barrel is about an 18, a little bit over an 18 and a quarter inch, between an 18 and a quarter inch and an 18 like and a half, which is legal for self-defense, okay? Really nice for getting around the house if you had to clear corners. Really nice. I like this. And the other thing about a double barrel, they don't jam. They don't jam. I've seen semi-auto shotguns jam. I've seen pump action shotguns jam. Normally, it's rare with a pump action, but it does happen. That bad boy is not jamming. So anyway, for a shotgun, that's my choice for a home defense shotgun. All right. Okay, let's get into some handguns here, okay? Now, if you're looking for something to put on the nightstand, let me show you my caddy here. I'll pull that out, make sure it's not loaded, and it's not. This right here is a Canik TP9 Elite Combat Executive 9mm. This right here is a really beautiful gun. It's full size. I can carry it, but this is more of something I keep around the house or what have you. Really good gun in 9mm, soft shooting. Really nice trigger, striker fired. Again, not loaded. Really nice trigger. You pull it right there, a little bit more. There it is. Reset. Beautiful. Right there, back into the fight. Now, as you notice, mine has a muzzle brake. You don't have to do that. It didn't come with a muzzle brake. It came with a thread-like protector. This is something that I added just for me. Okay, I thought it just would look good. It's got a Salient Arms barrel, very, very accurate, and a Salient Arms trigger. Now, I did put a little grip sleeve on it just to give me a little more texture, but really nice home defense nightstand gun. Granted, can this be carried? Yes, with the right clothing, most definitely, but I really like this particular gun here. Canik, you get a lot of bang for your bang. Now right here, it's a 15 round mag. They also have a 15 plus 3 round mag, meaning the mag extender here. They have one that'll give you 15 plus 3, so you got a total of 18 rounds. But 15 should be more than enough to get the job done. Great gun for carry, great gun for the home. But again, this is a full-size gun here, okay? So, and there's lots of options for carrying that. I'll get into that later. Another option, let's say you don't want a full-size gun. Now this right here, drop the mag, make sure it's not loaded. This right here is a Canik TP9 subcompact. Now that to me really is not, and of course the phone is going to ring. It'll be all right. This is really not a subcompact. This to me is more like a mid-sized gun here, okay? And I am going to disconnect that phone in just a minute. I mean the answering machine. Anyway, this is a great option for carry, a great option for... Are you done? Okay, they're done. All right. Great option for carry. It's not too big. It's not too small. Again, this is what I would consider a mid-sized gun. Very, very nice gun. Now, granted, there's a flush mag that goes with it. So basically, when the flush mag is there, I've got 2 fingers on it. My third finger isn't gripping anything. But they make these mags here. Now, this normally comes with, I think, 12 round mag. This here is a 15 extended mag. So I can put that in there. And if you look, I got a little more grip, a little more real estate to put my third finger on. I'm good to go. Again, this gun is not loaded and has a really nice trigger. One thing about Caniks, right out the box, they have great triggers. I'll show you. Pull that trigger, a little bit of take up there. You hit a wall and boom. Reset, right there, boom. Really sweet gun, striker fired. This is a nice option for either home or carry. So we're going to put that back there. Now, let's say that you're an older person like me, and let's say that you're a little more recoil sensitive. You don't have as much upper body strength. All right. Something you might want to consider is a good 380. Now I'm going to show you the one that I have here. Make sure it's not loaded. Now it's not loaded. What do we have here? We have here a SIG P238 in 380. Basically, this is a baby 1911. In other words, it functions just like a 1911. Let me get down here, okay? The way, I'm going to take the safety off, lower the hammer. It's hammer fired, not strikered. This right here is single action, meaning you don't have a double action pull. You can't just pull the trigger and it fires. You actually have to cock the hammer back and then fire it. Now, the way that most people would carry this is cocked and locked, like a 1911. In other words, let's say if I had a mag in here, you rack the slide back, let it go, you got a round in here, but now you have a very light trigger. So what you do is you put the safety on. Put the safety on, it will not fire. It will not fire until you take the safety off. So again, it functions like a 1911. Really nice gun, well made. They no longer make these from what I've heard. But if you can get, let's try that again. If you can get your hand on one, these are sweet guns. And again, it's a 380. Now, normally 380s don't really have a lot of recoil. But in the smaller guns, you're going to have more recoil because it's a smaller gun. There's less mass there, you know, to help like with the recoil. But this is an all-steel gun. Most of your guns that are coming out in 380 now are polymer. All steel here. Beautiful gun. Now, that's one way to carry it. Another way to carry it is just have a mag in here and just don't rack the slide. Now, this way you don't have one in the chamber, but if you need to use it, like I think, what is it? The Israeli army, they carry their guns without one like in the chamber, so when they need to, they rack it and they're ready to go. So you can do that. Another way, which I kind of like, is that have it in half cocked. In other words, you pull it back just a little bit, and it's right there. You see that? It's not all the way back, but it's safe to carry. You can pull the trigger. Again, mine is not loaded, and nothing will happen. And that's without the safety on. So if I had a mag in here, the only thing I got to do now, cock it back and fire. But again, a 380 is a really nice gun for those of us that may be a little more recoil sensitive, maybe not have as much upper body strength. But again, for carry, this is a great option, especially for the summer. If you look at how small that is, very, very small, takes up very little room. You can carry this for ladies in a purse. I probably wouldn't, but yeah, a purse, a small bag or something. Have it in a small holster like what I have here. Does not print whatsoever. I got to remember to turn my phones off. So if you need it, pull it out, you're ready to go. Again, this is a really nice option for people, seniors, ladies, anybody, period. Great option for self-defense, for carry. Now, this one is a little expensive. Again, it is a SIG. I got this used for a very good price. But if you're kind of strapped for cash, let me show you another good option in 380. Now, some of you are going to go, oh, I don't know about that, but let me tell you, this gun has been very, very reliable for me. We drop the mag. Is unloaded. This right here is a Remington RM380. Yes, I said Remington. Now, one time Remington was symbolic with quality and what have you. I know they've had some issues, but again, this gun right here has been nothing but reliable. This right here cost me about, it was under $200 with my rebate. And someone gave me a what is that, a gift card or whatever. I got this for under $200. This is a great option for carry. 380 has very little recoil because, again, now this one here is all metal, okay? Well, it's mostly metal, all right? So this one here, hammer fired, but the hammer is embedded in there. You can't cock it back, so it's double action. But the double action pull on this is really smooth. I'm gonna show you. I normally don't dry fire, but I'll do it this once. You pull it, bam, and the reset. So let's see, one more time. Pull it, bam, reset is right. It's kind of long all the way out. But again, if you're strapped for cash, if you can find one of these, this is a great little gun in 380. All right, let's put that back down. Now another option for those of us that might be recoil sensitive, and most people would disagree with this, okay? But a 22. A 22, to me, this is my own personal opinion. I've been doing this for over 30 plus years now, almost 40 years now. Wow, I'm getting old. Anyway, I found out that if you get a good quality 22, use good ammo, keep it clean, keep it oiled. I always run my guns wet. I always oil them. I don't run my guns dry. I don't. Just like with moving parts, that friction there, that oil helps with that. A 22 is a great option for home defense. This is my choice for a 22 pistol semi-auto for home defense. This right here is a Smith & Wesson M&P Compact 22. This gun has been nothing but reliable. I mean, no failure to feeds, misfires. The only time I have a failure with this gun is if I'm using cheap range ammo. But other than that, very reliable, points really good, and feels good in the hand. It's not really a big gun, but still, I can get 3 fingers on that with no problem. Now, if you notice, I did put a sleeve on mine. Again, I got to customize mine for me. It just feels better when I grip it like that. And a 22 for self-defense. Now, this one does have a safety. So for those of you that want a safety like on your gun, it's got a safety there. Disengages the trigger, like what have you. This one is hammer fired too, but it's got an internal hammer. A 22, to me, and this is my own personal opinion, with good shot placement is a very effective handgun for self-defense. As somebody once said, nobody wants extra holes in them. You point that at them, and you got a 10-round mag there. 10-round mag, not gonna rack it. You got 10 rounds of 22. If you use something like 22 Stingers, now mine works with 22 Stingers, 22 Velocitors, Federal Punch. Stingers you got to be careful with. They're a little longer 22, and in some of your semi-auto 22s, they don't function. But in this one here, man, they're great. They got a little more oomph than a regular 22. I would say it's between a 22 and a 22 mag. And a 22 mag is nothing to sneeze at. And the same with this gun right here. So again, for seniors, for someone that wants something with a little less recoil, this might be a good option. But again, you have to use good ammo. Don't use the range stuff unless you're just doing practice runs at the range and you want to practice getting a failure to feed and learn how to, to get it back in service, like what have you. Use good ammo, keep it clean, keep it oiled, get a good 22 like this one here. Great option for home or carry. Okay. Now, another good gun. Let's say a good gun to pair that with. Another great 22. All right. And this one I really like. Well, take the mag out. Make sure it's not loaded. Nope. It's not loaded. This right here is my H&K MP5 22. Again, this is my HK MP5. Yes, I said that. MP5 and 22. Not 9mm and 22. And this gun right here is a great option for home defense. I mean, that right there has a really mean profile. Okay, I love this gun. And it's been nothing but reliable. I mean, seriously, this is a great 22. It comes with, I think this is a, I think that's a 25 or 30 round mag. I think it's a 25 round mag. These mags are really, really nice. I mean, the quality on these mags is great. I'd even put them up there, if not above, the Ruger 1022 mags. And I've had both guns. I like Rugers. I love my Rugers. But this mag here is a great mag. And when you pair it with this gun here, you got 25 rounds of 22. Now, if you put 25 rounds of, let's say your hyper velocity round, like let's say your Federal Punch, very good option for home defense. And as I said, nobody wants extra holes in them. And when you start shooting, because people will say, well, it's just a 22. Somebody breaks into your house and they're coming at you to hurt you. You put that up there, and I see I got a red dot on there, and you start popping 22s at them. I'm talking about a self-defense situation. You're protecting you and your family. You're in imminent danger. Do you really believe that the criminal that's breaking into your house is going to say, well, that sounds like a 22. Well, that sounds like a 9mm. Well, maybe it's a 40. No. What they're going to think is, I'm being shot at. I've lost the advantage here. I need to get out. So this right here, great option. And again, I've done a little bit of modifying. I put me a rail on there. That's a whole different story and how like I did that. But anyway, great option for home defense. Very accurate, very effective. I'd have no problem using this or any of these that I've talked about in a self-defense situation. Practice and shot placement is key. So let me see. What haven't I talked about? Revolver. Okay. I told you this video was going to be a little long. Hang in there with me. I'm going to get to my less lethals. Now, for a revolver, most people like a double action revolver and 357 Magnum, which will also shoot the 38 Special. Me, I've always been partial to my 22s. Okay. Now, I got this one upstairs. This is, first of all, it is loaded. I'm going to unload it. It's single action. So to unload it, pointing it in that direction, finger is not on the trigger. And the thing about a single action, you have to have the hammer cocked back for the gun to fire. The gun will not fire unless you cock the hammer back first and then pull the trigger. You cannot pull the trigger and fire this gun. So you pull out the loading gate here and you pull this back to half cocked. I'm going to do that real quick. Pull it to half cock, pull out the loading gate, and as you see, my rounds are starting to fall out. So we're just going to let those drop for now. Again, there we go. So now, this here has 2 cylinders. Right now, I have the 22 mag cylinder. Okay, 22 mag. Let me see here. Here we go. And I also have a 22 cylinder, so I can change out the cylinder. Now, this is a belly gun. This is up close and personal. This is not a target gun. This isn't a gun that I'm going to be shooting, let's say, 50 yards. I could, but no, this is meant for up close and personal, 10, 20, 30 feet maybe. I'm thinking more like 15 to 20 feet. Again, belly gun, okay? Now, this is the Heritage Rough Rider. Now, they make a barkeep version of this, and this is because it's called the barkeep. It's because at the saloons, the saloon person, whatever, behind like the bartender would have this under the counter. So if there was a problem, he'd bring it out, and it's real easy to use. Okay. Now, granted, single action, meaning that again it's not loaded. Let me show that again. Pull out the loading gate, half cocked. Is unloaded. This gun is not loaded. It's safe to handle. All right. To operate this gun, every time you got to pull the hammer back all the way, and I'm going to put like my finger here, and you pull the trigger and it fires. It will not fire if you just pull the trigger. It will not fire in half cock either. You have to pull the trigger all the way back and then pull the trigger and it will fire. Okay. Why would somebody carry this? Why not? These have been used throughout history, and people have been able to defend themselves. Look in the, I mean, most of the Westerns you see, they're using a Colt single action revolver, right? Or a Schofield, like, or something. But the bottom line, they're not double action revolvers. This will work. This, to me, is a belly gun, backup gun, great gun for home, for self-defense. Like I said, up close and personal. Self-defense distances, I'm looking at anywhere between 10, 15, 20 feet tops. But most of the time, it's real close because criminals don't want to telegraph, like, let's say 50, 60 feet away from you and say, hey, I'm coming to rob you. Don't move. I'm coming to get you. No, they want to sneak up on you. They want to get close and they want to get you. Okay. So this gun right here is great for up close. If he comes up and you got to put hand up, you got the gun right here and boom. Granted, you're going to have to pull the hammer back every time. I don't have a problem with that. But again, this is one of my choices for a revolver. Love the new grips I got on there too. Those are beautiful. Those cost me a little bit. And I know, and another thing about this gun here, very light recoiling, even with the 22 mag. And again, this gun right here, very easy to conceal if I had to. Anyway, okay, let's get on, okay? I could go on talking about that gun. All right, let's talk about now, we've talked about some of my firearm options, and firearms are designed to be lethal, okay? They're designed for penetration. They're not designed for blunt impact. They're designed for penetration, to penetrate organs, to shut you down, okay? When a person brings out a firearm, you know it's getting serious, okay? When law enforcement puts the taser aside and they grab the Glock and they're coming at you, or they grab the M&P, you know, whatever, you know it's serious, okay? Let me show you some of my less lethal options, okay? Now, as I said, I've always been into firearms, but I've realized that not every encounter requires a lethal response. So I want to show you a couple of the less lethal options that I have that I would use for home and self-defense. Let's talk about carry. Now, with carry, it's really hard to beat this right here. This is my Byrna HD launcher. Now, granted, yes, you might, yeah, I guess you could say pistol, like what have you, but we call it a launcher. Okay, this right here, very simple to use. You unscrew it here. You have a safety right there, okay? You unscrew this part right here with the back of the mag. Let me drop a mag for you, okay? You got this here right there, this little tab. You put that in here, in that hole, well, in that hole there. You unscrew it. You can put a CO2 in it. It takes a 12-gram CO2. Screw it back in. The great thing about this here, let's put the mag in the right way, is that it's less lethal. It's CO2 powered. It's not a firearm. And you can either use a solid projectile, kinetic round, or else they have, and these rounds are .68 caliber. All of my options here are .68 caliber. I did that so I could use the same ammo in all of them. And actually, the same CO2s, okay? Except for my baby here, which I'll talk about. But anyway, less lethal option. Once you screw your CO2 in here, once you screw this back in with a CO2 in, it will not, okay, it will not pierce the CO2 until you pull the trigger. So basically you can leave a CO2 in here until, okay, until you pull the trigger. Once you pull like the trigger, it pierces the CO2, it fires. Simple design. There's no screwing in here, tapping like in the back. This is my #1 less lethal option for carry. And this right here packs a nice little punch. Now, granted, it's not designed for penetration. It's not a firearm. But when it hits you, you'll know it. And with good shot placement, you can definitely get somebody to back up off of you. Now, this here, you can use various different rounds for it, as long as they're .68 caliber. And I found out this has worked with just about every .68 caliber round that I've used. But some of the most effective rounds are the pepper rounds and the max rounds. Now, the pepper rounds are these rounds where, hang on, Let me just show you. I know this is, for some of you, this is repetitive, but just hang in there with me. That is a kinetic round. That is a hard round. These suckers hurt. You get hit in the groin with this, the leg, the chest, the face, you're going to know it. Okay, now if you got on thick clothing on, I've always said they won't be as effective. That's why I go for legs and groin or above the body. We're talking about self-defense. But they also shoot, let me get this here. Thought I had picked one up. It also shoots this here. That is a pepper round. This right here, when it hits the target, it bursts, and there is a cloud of pepper, okay, a pepper powder that engulfs the person. Now, once you get that on you, your skin is burning, your eyes are burning, it's hard to breathe, you're coughing, you're choking. This sucker does a lot of damage, and it hurts also when you get hit. Maybe not as much as the kinetic rounds, meaning the initial impact, but once those chemicals that get on you, trust me, it's going to take the fight right out of you, okay? And don't get hit in the face with it, okay? Anyway, so that is my number one less lethal option to carry, okay? Simple to use, easy to conceal if you got the right holster, or use something like this right here. This is just a messenger bag. I could put that in there just like that. Nobody knows that I've got it. I've got it around like my waist. I see with somebody that looks suspicious coming towards me, I just open it up a little bit, reach inside of it, and just hold it just like this. So when the person shows me that they do have ill-like intent and they're coming at me, I'm ready to fire, just like that. Number one. Now, granted, there are other launchers out there that are really good, but I like the simplicity of this. I've also put a 12-gram CO2 adapter. Before, it took the 8-gram CO2s that didn't have as much power and didn't last as long as your 12-gram CO2s. So I put a 12-gram CO2 adapter. And there are various ones you can use for this, but this worked for me, the one that Byrna has. Number one, for carry, for less lethal. For me, that is. Now, some of my other options. I know this looks like something from Roger Rabbit or whatever, but believe it or not, it's very effective. This right here is my Umarex HDR 68 revolver. This right here has been modified, lots of power. You definitely don't want to get hit with this. It's got a 6-shot mag. I pull that right there, and I put it back there. I can take the mag out, 6 rounds in there, kinetic rounds, pepper rounds, it shoots them all. So you put that in there, you can put it back here, put it back in, and you're ready to fire. Now with this one, it's a little bit different. There's a screw down here. You screw this one out here, and you put your 12-gram CO2 in the bottom. You put it, let me see which way. Get that again. Okay, I'm trying to remember here. Pretty sure the bottom end goes down first. That's right. Sorry, it took me a minute. Bottom end goes down first. This is what punctures it. You screw that back in. Get it just finger tight. I mean, you don't want to over tighten it. You tap the bottom, and once you hit that bottom, you hit it. This little indicator will come out here that shows red and is ready to fire. This one here has a lot of power. Not very carryable, I guess you could, but this, if you had this like on your bed, you got 6 rounds. For those of you that aren't into firearms, this right here might be a nice option. Once you start popping those at somebody, and this is very loud, they might even mistake it for a handgun. I mean, the sound of it, it's loud. But this sucker does hurt. And you put those 6 rounds like in the right place, they'll back up off of you quickly. So there it is. That is my revolver. Let me show you one of my favorite ones here, okay? Check that out. Let's make sure it's not loaded. To make sure you pull this here. It's a double barrel, less lethal option. Now, normally you would pull this on a normal shotgun, double barrel to open it, but this is just your selector switch. You push it to the left here, it's firing the left barrel. You push it to the right, it's firing the right barrel. Put it in the middle, it's going to fire both barrels. But to open it, you pull here, you load your 2 there. Simple to use, Same design as the revolver. Now this is a Umarex HDS shotgun here, okay? Self-defense with shotgun. CO2 powered, all these are CO2 powered, and they all use the same .68 caliber round. I did that on purpose, so this way I can save on ammo. I didn't get the 50 caliber or those other ones, 43 I think you could say, but the 68 works for me. This sucker has a nice little power to it, and granted, there's no sights on it. It's meant for up close and personal. We're talking about 10, 15 feet. Point and shoot. When it hits, it's going to hurt. But what I like about this, simplicity. Easy to load. No magazine, no taking this out or that out. Put 2 more in here, and you're ready to go. And that has a real intimidating profile. So, this one here, I love this one just on GP. Granted, it may not have the round count that the other ones do, but still, place those 2 rounds in the right place, it's going to hurt. It might just give you the edge to get away, or give that person who's trying to hurt you, trying to do something wrong to you, the incentive to get the hell out of there. Okay? All right, I like this. And if nothing else, looks like a real shotgun. Okay? So, intimidation factor. Self-defense is as much mental as it is physical. Okay? If you look like an easy target, that is what bad guys are going to perceive. An easy target, okay? If you look scary, that's the way they're going to see. Okay? But if you look strong, I know I'm not that big word, but if you look like I'm going to be a hard target, that I'm going to give you a run for your money and you may not come out on top, normally they'll back up and find with somebody else. Okay? Same thing with these. I like the intimidation factor. Now, let me show you a good option, not for carry, because all these can be carried, but I wouldn't advise it. The only one that I would carry would be my Umarec. Let's try it again. My Byrna HD launcher. The others, you might have it like in the car or whatever, but you wouldn't carry it. For home defense, let me show you my #1 choice, less lethal option for home defense. And I was on the fence about this one a long time, but once I got it, and once I got a chance to use it, hey, let me tell you. Hey, okay, let's go into it. Right here. This is my Byrna Mission 4 rifle. Okay? Again, this shoots a .68 caliber round, and instead of 8 gram or 12 gram CO2s, it's rated for an 88 gram CO2. Okay? Big suckers like this right here. But what's great about this particular CO2 here, this is a 90 gram CO2 that will work with any air gun that uses an 88 gram CO2. And what I found with this is the JT here, 90 gram CO2, okay? What I found with these, not only do they work, but you get, in my opinion, a little more power, and they last longer than the 88 gram CO2s. Now, you would think, well, it shouldn't be that much more. 88 gram, 90 gram, that's 2 grams more. That 2 grams more makes a big difference. Now, the way to use this, it's like an AR, okay? You screw this in the back here. Now, this is one that's been used, okay? Screw it in the back here. Make sure your charging handle, this is where your air handle, like the air release is. Make sure that's on the off position. So I screw that in here first. I press this forward to get the air to go like into the gun. Charge it like a AR charging handle. Pull it back. At that point, I'm ready to fire. Now this right here has a 19 round mag. Now this is a single mag I bought on eBay. I found out that Tippmann mags work great. Great, like for this gun here. I mean this air gun. But normally it comes with 2 mags like this. One of them is black. The other one is orange. I didn't like the orange. I hated the orange. It just looked kiddish. So my black one, I painted black I had to tape it off and make sure that nothing got on the inside. I wanted it to look like a real mag. Now see, you got two mags here. They're dual mags. You can fill one mag with your kinetic rounds. You can fill the other mag with your pepper rounds or your max rounds. So put that in there. Has a real intimidating look. Now, what I did with mine, okay, now normally this comes with a backstop that fits on here, but it just kept moving around. So what I did, now this is a fresh with CO2. I made a sleeve for mine. In other words, I wanted it, there we go. So I'm not going to screw it in completely, just enough so I feel it get really close. There. Now that has a better look to me, and it just feels better like on my cheek when I'm about to shoot it. I did put a red dot on it, a BSA red dot. Not very expensive, but works really well on this. This has almost no recoil, okay? But the great thing about this, now some of you are thinking, man, I got to do all that to get it ready to use to fire it. Now it does have a safety here. It does have a fire switch like an AR. But what I would do if I was using this for home defense, I would have this, instead of out of the gun, I would have this partially in like this here. And I've shown this in another video that you can maybe check out, where I was able to, from a sitting position, I said go, this was on a table, I ran over to the table, grabbed the gun, was able to screw this in, release the air, charge it up, and start shooting within 7 seconds. Okay, so with practice and with a game plan, this could be a great option for self-defense. And this thing hits hard, very hard. Now, some people might say, well, what if the attacker has a handgun? If I'm in my house, now normally I would use a handgun, but if this was all I had, it's going to take a minute to get in my house. If I hear them trying to kick in the door, okay? At that point, I'm telling my wife to call like the police. She's in the back, but I'm set up just like this. I'm waiting for that bad boy to come in. As soon as he breaches, or she, you never know these days, breaches that door, I'm firing. Pop, 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 pop. I'm firing. My first rounds might be pepper rounds. They might be kinetic. It depends. But the bottom line, I'm going for the face. I'm going for the groin. I'm trying to inflict as much pain as possible, and this will do it. This will inflict a lot of pain. And let's say I run out of those 19 rounds, pop it, switch mags. I'm back in the fight again. And I get a really high mag count with it. This would be a great option for those of you that may not feel comfortable with a firearm, okay? But you want something for the home, for just in case. I mean, if you take the temperature like of this country like right now, man, it's not good. It's not good. I don't know what's going on with people as far as, it just seems like they're losing it. So I'm saying this for this reason. It's good to have something for just in case. You feel it? You feel me? All right. So this is a great option for home defense. It's all metal construction, well built. It is pricey. I'm not going to lie, very pricey, but you can't go wrong with this. Hey guys, I'm going to end this video here. Just heard the wife pull up. I know it's been a little long. I just wanted to show you some of the things that I would consider great options for home defense. Whether firearms, these are my own personal opinion, my own faves, and less lethal, some of my favorite choices. Hopefully I'll never have to use any of these for anything but recreation, going to the range. My less lethals, going out to my outside range and using them. My air guns I'm talking about. Now my firearms, going to my local range and punching paper. But these days, you never know. It's good to be prepared. I want to thank you for hanging in there and watching this video with me. Let me know if it's been helpful. Let me know what you think. On that note, as always, I want to say be safe out there. God bless and peace. And for those of you that have been impacted by this rough weather, my prayers go out to you. All right. I'm praying for you. You guys take care. God bless people. Peace. And there's the wife. See you later.